उद्घाट्य योगकलया हृदयाब्जकोशं धन्यैश्चिरादपि यथारुचि गृह्यमाणः यः प्रस्फुरत्यविरतं परिपूर्णरूपः श्रेयस्य मे दिशतु शाश्वतिकं मुकुन्दः। अमरी कबरी भारत भ्रमरी मुखरीकृतं दूरीकरोतु दुरितं गौरी चरणपङ्कजं परस्पर तपस्सम्पत् फलायित परस्परो प्रपञ्च मातापितरौ प्राञ्चौ जायापति स्तुमः। We finished with Pratipam last time, so we'll start with Rupakam. So it will be a fresh alankara to learn. Vishayi abheda tadrupya ranjanam vishayasya yat Rupakam tat tridha adhikya nunatva anubhaya uktibhihi. So Vishayi abheda tadrupya ranjanam vishayasya. So Vishayasya tadrupya ranjanam or abheda ranjanam. Here there are 2-3 things that we have to note. As we read the Vyakhyanam, it will become more easier. So Vishayi is the upamana bhutam. So Vishayaha or the subject matter. So Vishayaha prakritam upameyam, these are all the varnyam, these are the things that the poet has the focus on and he wants to describe only that particular subject. So Vishayaha, in common parlance we say Vishaya is the subject matter, which becomes our upameyam, which we want to describe. So Vishayi is the upamana bhutam, which is the standard of comparisons. That becomes the Vishayi. So Vishaya and Vishayi. Why don't we say Upamanam and Upameyam? Because in Rupaka we are not comparing, we are actually superimposing there. Ranjanam. Ranjanam ityukte, it means complete superimposition of one object over the other. So Upameya Bhutam, Upamana Bhutam Padmadi, Vishayi. Vishayaha tu Upameya Bhutam Mukhadi. So Vishayinaha Rupena Vishayasya Abheda Tadrupyabhyam Ranjanam. There are 2 ways in which you can superimpose one object over the other. Vishayi Rupena Vishayasya Ranjanam Bhavati. We are completely transforming the Vishaya and looking at it as another object, which is the Upamanam. You can do it as there is a non-difference between the 2 objects. That is, this is the same Shiva. Sakshat Shivaha eva atra vartate iti vaktum shakyate. Or I can say, I am Raja Rupaha Shivaha. So I can also say that this king is the king who is in the form of or the Shiva who is in the form of the king. The king who is in the form of Shiva, who is actually Shiva. So I can feel a difference there, but at the same time there is a superimposition, or it can be abheda. As we read the examples, this part will become more clear. So we will revisit again. So Vishayinaha Rupena, in the form of the Vishayi, in the form of the Upamanam. Vishayasya Ranjanam. Vishayasya Abhedena Ranjanam or Tadrupyena Ranjanam. So the Vishaya can be completely superimposed either with no difference, or it can assume the other's form. Swa uparakta buddhi vishayikaranam rupakam. Ranjanam is equal to the meaning of Ranjanam here is, Nirvachanam here is Swa uparakta buddhi vishayikaranam. Uparanjanam is you are trying to superimpose it in your buddhi, you are trying to put it as a vishayi, vishayikaranam eva. So because of certain uparaga, because there is a certain similarity between the 2 of them, this one satisfies, our Vishaya itself satisfies whatever the work that the Upamana will do. So we are actually transforming this into that particular Upamana. So Swa Uparakta means Uparakta is Uparaga, similarity. Totally, it is superimposing kind of stuff. You don't talk about similarity here. So Swa is, you will take this as the Vishaya. Vishaya Uparakta Buddhi. In my brain, I am thinking about only that Vishaya. So Vishayasya Uparanjanam Buddho Vartate. Uparanjanam iti cheta tatra yogaha vartate, sambaddhaha vartate. So Vishaya Sambaddha Buddhihi kim karoti Vishayi Karanam. It transforms that Vishaya into the Vishayi. Clear?
One quick question, madam. Is there a difference between upamanam and upamana bhutam?
Upamanatvam praptamnu எடுத்துக்கிறோம். Bhutamங்கிறது you translate it as praptam. It has taken on the, it is being used as the upamanam. There can be a case where the padmam is my vishaya. I want to describe the lotuses in the pond. I am describing nature. Then it is not an upamana. In all cases, it cannot be the upamanam. So now, in this particular case, it has taken on the garb of an upamana.
Okay. Assuming the role of. Ipa acharya bhutam tam. So he is not an acharya, but he has now assumed the role of an acharya, and he is the acharya for present. So andha madri. That was a question I've heard. Bhutam more like eva, right?
இங்க வந்து பிராப்தம்ங்கிற அர்த்தத்துல தான் எடுத்துக்கணும்.
Okay, got it.
किमर्थं तत्र स्व उपरक्त बुद्धि इति वक्तव्यं? तत्र को विशेषः?
रञ्जनम् इत्यस्य एव तत्र निर्वचनं करोति.
ओहो एवं.
So how do you explain ranjanam?
Okay, because using the same ranjas rakta uparakta and swena uparakta va no swasya buddhi swasya uparakta buddhi. Okay, I guess that's what he means. Buddhi okay.
So ranjanam is, he just takes it directly from the vyakyanam there and gives it. Ranjana vishayi bhuta vishayi abeda tadrup அப்படினு அப்படியே அதுல வந்து அப்படியே கட் பண்ணி he just puts it here.
Cut and paste.
So swapada upattasya, he translates that also here. Swapada upattasya vishayasya. Swa is vishayam. Vishayi rupena ranjanam. Okay. Swapadena.
Once again, Swa is Vishaya?
Yes, that's what I said. The Vishaya which is there in the buddhi has now become transformed into the Vishayi.
Swapada upattasya Vishaya. Nama Swa nama Swayam iti prayah kadachit. Anyata katam atra Swapada iti?
Katam na? Swangartha Vishayasya ranjanam bhavati. Ranjanam tu katham bhavati? Swasya Vishayasya. Or swena uparaktaha buddhi, uparakta buddhi, sambaddha buddhihi, vishayena sambaddha buddhihi, tad buddhihi tu adhuna vishayi kriyate. That becomes the vishayi abedena pashyati buddhihi.
Upatta means?
Upatta taken. Swapada upattasya vishayasya. So you take vishaya as the swapada. From in the swangra padathirku, the meaning for the word swa, you take it as vishaya.
That's a bit strange, right? I mean, swa. I mean, swa. How did you? I mean, is it mine? Is it like, what does it mean? By swapada.
இங்க ஸ்வங்கிற பதம் இருக்கு. விஷயஸ்ய ரஞ்சனம், விஷயஸ்ய ஸ்வஸ்ய ரஞ்சனம் bhavati. So vishaya is taken as the swam there.
Swam is basically, swam can be wealth, or it can be swayam, or I guess he means
no எல்லாத்துக்குமே அதே சொல்லாதீங்க. ஸ்வம் can be தன்னுடையதுங்கிற அர்த்தத்துல சொல்றோம்ல.
அதான் எப்படி வரும்? இப்போ தன்னுடைய விஷயம் அப்படின்னு எப்படி வரும்?
இங்க தன்னுடையதுங்கிறச்சு அந்த விஷயத்தினுடையதுங்கிறது தான் வரும். If you look at the English meaning, அது எதா போட்டிருக்காரா?
Its own itiva. Okay.
Its own.
Okay.
இருக்கு. Without losing its own identity இருக்கா?
Okay. So he does not mean identified. Okay, it does not mean that the speaker of the upama is identifying with it. It means that the vishaya's own.
Yeah, swaha, swasya is equal, or swena is equal to vishayena.
Vishayena uparakta buddhi. Okay, got it.
அப்படி எடுக்கணும். அதுதான் சொல்லிட்டு இருந்தேன்.
Because this word, when I bring myself into it, and it becomes a problem.
No.
Okay. Swa basically
swatvam bhavati tatra.
Common in Tarka. Atpadam, sapadam.
There they use tatpadam, they don't use swa mostly. Swa is only in these kind of kavya alankara vyakhyanas you will find that. So swapada upattasya vishayasya vishayi rupena ranjanam kvachit prasiddha vishayi abhede paryavasitam. When you do that ranjanam or superimposition, sometimes it results in paryavasitam. It results in vishayi abheda. There is a non-difference between the vishaya and the vishayi. Prasiddha vishayi is your prasiddha upamanam. Kvachit bhede pratiyamane eva. Sometimes there is a difference that is seen there. When in the expression, you have the difference, bhede pratiyamane eva, even as the bheda or the difference is being seen, tadiya dharma aropamatre paryavasitam. It ends in just the superimposition of the dharma and not the entire object itself. Okay. So tatascha rupakam dvividham. So two types of rupaka happens here because of this. So abheda rupakam and tadrupya rupakam. Abheda is where there is no difference. Tadrupyam is bhede sati dharma matra aropaha. Tad dvividham api vishayi apekshaya vishayasya adhikya uktya nyunatva uktya anubhaya uktya cha pratyekam trividham. Each one of those, that is abheda rupakam, can be divided into three based on whether the vishaya, that is my subject matter, upameyam, is described as greater than the upamanam, or is it described as lesser than the upamanam, or whether the description is such that we don't see any adhikyam or nyunam, so there is no, there is anubhaya ukti. In this way, you can have three more types of rupakam. Okay, which means three more, six-sided. Each of those Vedas, that is Abheda Rupakam and Tadrupya Rupakam, further divides into three. So Anubhaya Tathacha Rupakam Shadvidam Bhavati. This is not the way others will classify. This is Kuvalayanandakara's classification. The normal way of classifying Rupakam is Ekasheshi or and Paramparita Rupakam Ityadikam. That you will read in Kavya Prakasha in further higher texts. But this kind of exercise is good first as a beginner. So Anubhaya Abheda Rupakam, Nyuna Abheda Rupakam, Adhika Abheda Rupakam, Anubhaya Tadrupya Rupakam, Nyuna Tadrupya Rupakam, Adhika Tadrupya Rupakam. These are the six types. Etesham Shannam Udaharanakramena Atra Nirdeshaha Kritaha Natu Mula Shloka Uddishta Kramena Anenaiva Kramena Udaharanani Diyante. Mula Shloka is not like that. See, if you look at the Mula Shlokam, Abheda and Tadrupyam, that is fine. But then when he gives the three types, he says Adhikyam first and then Nyunatvam and then gives Anubhaya. But when we are going to read the divisions, we are not going to read in this manner. We start with Anubhaya and then go to Nyunam and then Adhikyam. Okay, it is going to be in the reverse order. So the first one is Anubhaya, then Nyunam Adhikam, then Anubhaya Tadrupya, Nyuna Tadrupya, Adhika Tadrupya. Is that clear? So we'll go to the example. Anubhaya Abheda Rupakasya Udaharanam. Ayam hi dhurjatihi sakshat yena dagdhaha puraha kshanat. Ayam hi durjatihi sakshat. Ayam Purovarti Raja. There is a king who is present in front of the Kavi. The Kavi wants to impress the king. So he describes the king as Shiva himself. So Ayam Purovarti Raja. He does not specify Raja Durjatihi iti. Tatra, he doesn't specify the word Raja to indicate that he is talking about a king who is now in the form of Shiva. If he had mentioned it that way, then it would have been Tadrupyam. Since he just in general points out to someone and says like I am Vishalakshi, I am Ramachandraha. In that case, he is trying to just point out randomly and say I am Durjatihi, Sakshat Durjatihi. This person in front of me is actually Shiva. Sakshat Durjatihi. He is Shiva. Yena Puraha kshanat dagdhaha. Puraha is bahuvachanam. Dvitiya bahuvachanam. Prathama bahuvachanam. Puhu purau puraha. So it's a strilinga padam. Dagdhaha. Puraha dagdhaha. The cities were all burnt. So just as how Shiva burnt the Tripuram, in the same way, this king has also burnt or destroyed all the enemies' cities. So I am Purovarti Raja Sakshat Dhurjatihi Shivaha Yena Puraha Shatru Nagarani Kshanat Dagdhaha. Within a moment, they were all destroyed. Iti Anubhaya Abheda Rupakasya Udaharanam. Now, how do we do the Lakshana Samanvaya? Atra Puradahakatva Samyat. The comparison here is the samana dharma between Shiva and this king is Puradahakatvam, the capability of destroying cities. I am Sakshat Shambhuhu Eva Iti Abhedaha Pratiyate. There is a non-difference because of the fact that they both have destroyed cities. He says this person is actually Shiva himself. He is not somebody else, but he is Shiva himself. So Sakshat Shambhuhu Eva Iti Abhedaha Pratiyate. But does he say anything about whether this person is better than Shiva or Shiva is better than this person? Tatha nasti atra. So Vishayasya ayam iti rajnyaha Raja Rupa Vishayasya Nyunata Adhikyayoho cha Anuktehe Lakshana Samanvayaha. He is not talking about whether the king is less or adhikyam. So Nyunata Adhikyayoho Anuktehe. There is no mention of whether he is less or greater. So this is called Anubhaya Abheda Rupakam.
Yeah? Here what I can understand Shuli means who has shul or something. What does Dhurjati mean?
Dhurjatina, I think it is.
Seeing if that fits the context with Puradahana.
No, that is irrelevant here.
Matted haired one.
Yeah, just a matted hair. That's all. That won't.
Just for some name he has given.
Bharabhuta, yeah, just for a sake of this thing. That's all.
So the at first glance it appears as if Durjati refers to Shiva, and at first glance it appears as if the Upameyam isn't or the Varnyam isn't mentioned. So it almost, I mean, I thought it was Nigaranam at first glance, but the Ayam he is basically referring to the Varnya, Raja, right?
Yes.
So it's not Nigaranam; it's actually Rupakam only. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So there is an aparam udaharanam for this. Chandra Jyotsna Vishada Puline. Pulite illa.
A very simple example in a day-to-day conversation is when somebody is hyper angry and you refer to her as a Bhadrakali.
Avangano. அது இல்லைன்னா முடியாது. பத்ரகாளி வரான்னு சொன்னோம்னா அது சரிப்பட்டு வராது. அது that becomes அதிசயோக்தி.
Okay.
அவ அப்படியே சாக்ஷாத் பத்ரகாளி மாதிரி டான்ஸ் ஆடுற பாரு அப்படின்னு போடணும். இதுதான்.
ரொம்ப அவன்னு சொல்லலைன்னா வேற அலங்காரமா மாறிடும். So it's very subtle.
அவன் சொல்லாட்டி என்ன
வேற அலங்காரம் ஆயிடும்.
Oh, is it? Okay. Wow.
அதிசயோக்தி ஆயிடும்.
Okay.
You need ஆதாரம் there for you to superimpose something there. அதுதான் ரூபகம்.
Got it. So there is no concept of lupta here. Everything has to be there.
There is nothing here. Actually, samana dharma is not at all expected. All we are doing is a superimposition. அவ்வளவுதான். ரெண்டே வஸ்து இருந்தா போறோம் நமக்கு.
And the samana dharma is what you interpret.
We can interpret or it can be given. It depends on the poet.
Okay.
Chandrajyotsna Vishada Puline Saikatesmin Saraivaha Vadadyutan Chirataramabhut Siddha Yuno Kayoschit Eko Vakti Pratama Nihatam Kaitabham Kamsamanyaha Tattvam Sattvam kathaya bhagavan ko hataha tatra purvam. So there are two people who are standing in the Sarayu Nadi Tate. So Saraivaha Saikate, in the sands of Sarayu, on the bank of Sarayu river, which is Chandra Jyotsna Vishada Puline, which is very white like Vishada, which is very white like Chandra Jyotsna. Here it is an upama here. Okay. So this is not our Rupaka Udaharanam. It will come only at the second line. So Chandra Jyotsna Vishada Puline, in the Saikate, in the sands, in the bank. Saikatam is actually bank. Pulina is sand. So in the banks of Sarayu, on the banks of Sarayu, which has sand that is very white like the Chandra Jyotsna, Chandra Kiranavat. Tatra chirataram siddhayunoho kayoschit vadadyutam abhut. There were two young ascetics, siddhaha. So two young ascetics, yunaha, yuva, tayoho madhye chirataram vadadyutam abhut. There was a great debate going on between two people who were just standing on the banks of Sarayu. Now, what was the debate that was going on? So one was saying, Ekaha Vakti, Prathama Nihatam Kaitabham, Anyaha Kamsam. So Prathama Nihatam Kaitabham, Vakti. So the first person says that Kaitabhasura was first killed by this king. So that king is next. We don't still have that in the shloka here. Okay, so one of them says, Kaitabhasura was killed first. Kamsam Anyam, another person, Anyaha Siddha Yuva Vakti, Kamsam Nihatam Vakti. He says that Kamsa was killed first. So there is a debate between who was killed first. Was it Kaitabha, Madhu Kaitabhasura, those who came out of Brahma's ears? They were destroyed by Vishnu, right? Or Yogamaya. Actually, Yogamaya was the one who destroys the two of them. But then Yoga Nidra is Vishnu's Shakti also there. So Vishnu destroyed Madhu and Kaitabha. So Kaitabha was killed first. Iti kaschana ekaha bhakti. Anyaha tu kamsaha eva nihataha. Tattvam sattvam kathaya bhagavan. So this Kavi, who has witnessed this duel that was going on between the two of them, he comes to the court and he looks at the king and says, Hey Bhagavan, O king, you are the fit person to tell me who was killed first, because you were the one who did it. That is understood there. So, saha tvam, saha, yaha kaitabhamapi ahanat, kamsamapi ahanat, saha tvam, idanim kathaya. You have to tell me the truth here. Tattvam kathaya, tatra purvam kaha hataha, who was killed first. So, what is the connection here? He is saying that Purovarti Raja eva Vishnuhu iti. So that's the idea behind this shloka. Atra Sattvam ityanena Kamsa Kaitabha Hantr Garudadvaja Abhedaha Varnaniyasya Pratipadyate. Varnaniyaha Raja. Kamsa Kaitabha Hanta Garudadvajaha Vishnuhu. There is a non-difference between the two of them that is being seen here. When he said Saha, that Saha points out to the earlier shloka, wherein Kaitabha Hanta, Kamsa Hanta cha Tvam eva, Tarhi Kaha Hataha Purvam iti vadatu. Iti Pratipadyate, Kamsa Kaitabha Vadayoscha, Purvaparya Prashna Vyajena, Tad Abhedaha eva, Dridhi Kriyate, Napunar Nyunata Adhikyam va Pratipadyate. Iti anubhaya abheda rupakam. So he says the king is sakshat Vishnuhu atra. Yaha Kaitabham api, he killed Kaitabha and Kamsa. So there is a non-difference that is being said. No, napunar nyunata adhikyam va na pratipadyate. Is that clear? Okay. No
so
question?
The address Hey Bhagavan is also significant. It's double meaning, right?
Bhagavata iti, usually Raja is also addressed as Sami. அவ்வளவுதான். The next one is Nyuna Abheda Rupakasya Udaharanam. So remember the first one.
So why it can't be Atishayokti? Because Bhagavan, Raja cannot be Bhagavan.
Okay.
So it's just like an Atishayokti alankara saying you are Bhagavan,
No.
but exactly.
No, saha tvam iti asti purodrishyamanaha. And Bhagavan can be an address for both Devaha and Raja.
I don't know. Here, Kavi is comparing king with Vishnu, right?
Yes.
Which cannot happen. Like it's very Atishayokti.
No, don't think on a Tatparyam level. See, you are trying to think at a Tatparyam level. You are not thinking at the Vachya level.
Okay.
See, Tatparyam, I can extract any amount of import or summary in any manner, in whatever way I want. Then it becomes an opinion based on the shloka. You're not looking at the words in the shloka.
Okay.
In other words, if you look at this and say it's exaggeration or hyperbole, like this in English, and that's what Atishayokti is, it's not so, because this is a technical term where there are the tvam refers to the upameya, and the upamana is suggested or Bhagavan. Therefore, it is an alankara that fits those technical aspects. Though of course you can say it's exaggeration at the Tatparya level, but you are looking at the alankara, right? So you got to go to the technical detail.
Yeah, we are looking at artha alankaras here, not Tatparya alankara. So artham, what is the vakya, what is the vakyam, and vakyasya arthaha kaha. That is what we have to go by. If we lose that focus, then you will bring in all other alankaras and put in here. You will get confused. Yeah.
Mहोदय, तत्र तत्त्वम् इत्यस्य अन्वयः कुत्र भवति? तत्त्वम् इति
Tattvam kathaya. Tattvam is satyam. There should be a double ta here.
तत्त्वम् इति नास्ति, तत्त्वम् इति. Okay.
Double ta atra bhavitavyam, and it is tasya bhavaha iti tattvam. So tasya satya avastha kidrishi iti tvameva kathaya.
Astu. Got it.
Nyuna abheda rupakasya udaharanam ayamaste vinashambhuhu tartiyakam vilochanam. Ayam shambhuhu aste. Tartiyakam vilochanam vina ayam shambhuhu aste. Without the third eye, he is Shiva. That's the meaning here. So ayam shambhuhu aste. This person is Shambhu or Shiva, but he does not have the tartiyakam lochanam. Tritiyam lochanam. So tartiyakam lochanam. Tritiyameva tartiyakam vilochanam. Vishamam lochanam vilochanam. It is the other third eye that we are talking about, but he doesn't have that third eye. So here we don't have any samana dharma that is being talked about here. Okay, but we are saying that he has such a prowess. We can extrapolate and say it's because of these qualities that we are saying that this Raja is like Shiva. I am Shambhu eva. But what is the difference here? We are saying he is lesser than Shambhu because Shambhu has 3 eyes. This Raja does not have 3 eyes. He doesn't have the third eye. So netram vina Shambhu ayam aste, Shambhu eva ayam purovarti Raja. Iti nyuna abheda rupakasya udaharanam. Atra varnyasya. What is the varnya here? Ayam. That is our varnya. But ayam is Raja. Rajnyaha Shiva abheda pratipadane api. So ayam, we are just saying a common pronoun here and referring to the person in front of us. We are not saying Raja, but we are saying ayam. So ayam Shambhuhu. So there is an abheda non-difference and there is a superimposition between the two people. So Shiva abheda pratipadane api. Even though we have talked about Shiva's abheda with the king in front of us, Tritiya lochana rahitya rupam nyunatvam uktam. There is also he may be equal to Shiva, but then there is one aspect in which he is not equal to Shiva, which means he is lesser than Shiva because he does not have the third eye. Okay.
I'll say one thing. I am aste vishalakshi nimeshon meshavartini. Something like this.
அது வந்து அனுபயம்னா வரும்.
It looks same, right? No?
உன்மேஷ நிமேஷ ரெண்டுமே இருக்குன்னா
Which is
Not
there?
there.
Vartini. So
What
the
does
only
that mean?
difference is Vishalakshi has that Vishalakshi does not. Ice Nimesha Mesha.
तस्याः तु वर्तते एव उन्मेष निमिषोत्पन्न विपन्न भुवनावली उभयमपि तत्रापि वर्तते तर्हि अनुभयरूप तद् अभेद रूपकम्.
Okay.
So explain a little bit. Can I explain the reference, please?
No, see,
I mean,
if
I know
you're saying,
blinking. I know is he referring to something like the Srishti in the Pralaya of the world, the one who causes that, or like what is he talking
so
about?
what he's saying is there is blinking of the eyes. Devata chet tatra nimesha unmesha nasti. Na vartete. Correct? So, but whereas if it is a human, then you have the nimesha and unmesha.
Right.
So I said, no, actually Devi also has that. Unmesha nimisha utpanna vipanna bhuvanavali. The moment she opens her eyes, there is a creation of the world. And when she closes her eyes, so unmesha nimisha utu vartete.
So Srishti Pralaya basically are the okay.
Yeah. So there is an anubhayam in that sense. That's all.
And you saved the day, but Samartha.
No, I mean this. There is paritratum. No.
Paritratum shanke parihrata nimeshastavatrisha.
That's why I said
okay.
She does not have.
Yes. Then fine. But then in the macro level, see, on the shlokam enna, that's a Soundarya shlokam where she says, I think you have opened your eyes and created this world, but in order to stop pralayam, you are not closing your eyes at all.
See, that only point.
Yes. Then fine. Then it is Nyunam.
So that Nimesha is from which stotra?
Unmesha Nimishotpanna is from Lalita Sahasranamam.
Okay.
This one, Paritratum Shanke Parihrita Nimesha Stavadrishaha. That is from Soundarya.
Okay.
So Asyeva Aparam Udaharanam Vedha Dvedha Brahmam Chakre Kantasu Kanakeshu Cha Tasu Teshu Api Anasaktaha Sakshat Bhargo Narakritihi. Atra kaschana viraktaha varnyate. Viraktaha, a person who is not detached from the world. So he starts off by saying Vedhaha, Brahma, Dvedha Brahmam Chakre. He has created two kinds of Brahmam, illusions in the world. So what are those things? One is Kantasu, Kanakeshu cha. One is material wealth. The other wealth is in the form of Kanta, which attracts us. Right? Rati Rupa. Kanta is women. So women and wealth are two kinds of illusions that have been created by Brahma. Tasu Teshu cha Anasaktaha. Someone who is not attached to either of those two is actually Bhargaha Kintu Nara Akritihi. Bhargaha Shivaha. He is actually Shiva, but in the form of a human. Narakritihi Bhargaha eva. So atra viraktaha sakshat Bhargaha iti virakta shivayoho abhede pratipadite sati. So there is a non-difference between a detached person and Shiva. By saying that sakshat Bhargaha eva. Kintu narakritihi. So narakritihi iti vishayasya Divyamurti Vaikalya Pratipadanat Nyuna Abheda Rupakam. So Divyakritihi Nasti, Divyam becomes a little Utkrishtam, so it becomes Adhikam here, whereas Nara Akritihi iti chete, it is a little on a lesser note there. So Divyamurti Vaikalya Pratipadanat, Vaikalyam Vikalam, without having Rahitya Pratipadanat, Nyuna Abheda Rupakam. Is this clear?
He is not giving any extra information here, right? It's almost similar to previous one.
Yes, similar. There is no
speciality.
I'll just check his Vyakyanam 1 minute. Brahmaha atra mohaha. No, it doesn't give any other special case here.
அங்க
किमर्थं
வந்து
तत्र अभवत्?
வீணா was a here சாக்ஷாத்.
வினாங்கிறது இல்லாம யூஸ் பண்ணிருக்காருன்னு போட்டுருக்கேன்.
ம்
Without vina, without the nyunatvam tu, it is only from the word we extrapolate. From the word narakritihi we extrapolate. Yeah, that's a good one. Next one is adhika abheda rupakasya udaharanam shambhuh vishwam avati adya swikritya samadrishtitam. So shambhuh vishwam avati. Shambhu I am again here is the Raja, so but the Raja has not been mentioned here, but he says Shambhuh Vishwam Avati Adya. You take that I am from the earlier lines because this is one sloka format that he is given. You can take that I am from the earlier line, just as how we did for Luptopama. Certain cases, the two slokas put together, we took certain things from one line, and for certain types of Luptopama, we took from certain things, right? So tatha atrapi atra I am iti purva udaharanat anushanjaniyam. So we take that I am from the earlier examples and put it here. So I am Shambhuh I am adya samadrishtitam samasankhya lochanatam avalambya vishwam avati. He is protecting the world. Vishwam avati. He is protecting the world today. Adya katham samadrishtitam swikritya. Taking a equanimity. Samadrishti is actually looking at things in an equal manner. Samadrishti also means samasankhya lochanam. So one who has even number of eyes. So it is a slesha here. So samasankhya lochanatam ekarupa darshanatam cha. So one who takes on the he has only two eyes. Instead of saying without the third eye, then there is a mention of nyunatvam, but instead he says here यदि विषमदृष्टिः वर्तते तर्हि विश्व अवने वैषम्यं भवति. So there will be he cannot be very equal with everybody if he has a vishamadrishti. Vishamadrishti means an uneven perception about things. So it can also mean an uneven number of eyes. So that is the adhikyam here.
Isn't the suggestion that if Shiva has this third eye open as well, that is the eye which causes pralaya, which the Agni comes out from that eye. Therefore it's
he
actually,
can destroy.
He can destroy. Whereas we want protection here. Avati iti.
Vishwam avati. Yeah. Solla. Adhika abheda rupakasya udaharanam idam. Atra ayam raja shambhuh eva iti abhede pratipadite. When there is a non-difference here, ayam raja shambhuh eva iti pratipadite sati purvavasthayam vishamadrishtihi idanim punaha samadrishtihi iti adhikyam. So before, when he was Shiva, as Shiva he has three eyes, which is vishamadrishti, whereas now he has taken on the form of this Raja, and that Raja has samadrishti. He has only two eyes, or he looks at everything with the equanimity. Iti adhikyam vishayasya pratipaditam iti lakshana samanvayah. Okay, adhikyam is utkarsha, being better than the vishayi.
यद्यपि नेत्र संख्यायां तु न्यूनता तथापि विषयिक आधिक्यम.
Correct. That is because of the double meaning you have in the case of drishti. Drishti can mean lochanam or darshanam, perception.
Ma'am, one eyeless does not mean anything, right? Why it will become adhikya when not in number, I'm saying when Shiva has two eyes or three eyes and he has only two eyes, what does adhikya refer there? Where adhikya is there for the king? In the number of eyes.
Samadrishti, not in the number of eyes. So we will have to, when we want to resolve that adhikyam, we take the meaning of perception there. He has an equal perception about everything, or equal, he looks at everything with in an equal fashion.
Also, it is shantakaram when the third eye is not open. Shantakaram, and then therefore it is, avati. He protects the world in that. Therefore, adhikyam. Right?
Otherwise, even Shiva also has that samadrishti only, right? If it's not in terms of count and it's just in terms of
if the third eye is open, then he's ready to destroy, right? It also, this is a poetical concept. That's it. He's just imposing.
You don't go by whether if he also is not opening his third eye, then he has a samadrishti iti nasti. The third eye is there for him. So here we only, when we want to show the utkarsha, we take only the secondary meaning there. We don't take the sankhya meaning. We take the darshanam meaning.
You are saying darshanam of his is not equal. Then does the poet imply that? Shivasya darshanam tatra samanam nasti sarveshang krite.
No, tatha nasti. Don't do the reverse here.
Okay.
He has a vishama drishti. It's like virodhabhasa. He has a vishama drishti, meaning he has three eyes. This king has samadrishti, meaning he has two eyes. It also means that he has that equal vision. That's all. Okay. So he is better. You need a samadrishti to protect the world. You can't show vaishamyam in your, you can't show partiality in protecting the world.
Where Shiva, it also, does it imply that the Shiva shows partiality?
No, don't do the reverse. Don't do the reverse. Then your alankara is lost. ஐயோ இந்த ரேஞ்சில நான் வந்து விரோதாபாசம் எப்படி எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணுவேன்னு எனக்கு தெரியல. விரோதாபாசம் will be even more difficult to understand. Tvayyagate, this is the aparam udaharanam for the third variety. So Tvayyagate kimiti vepata esha sindhuhu. ஐயோ இங்க ரொம்ப என்னெல்லாமோ எழுதியிருக்கார். I'll see if I can pick up this Rasikaranjani Durjatihi blah blah. It's such a pain to look at all those writing in that PDF. Let me pause. Tvayyagate kimiti vepata esha sindhuhu tvam setum anyat tvam setumantha krit ataha kim asau bibheti dvipantarepi nahite asti vashambado adya tvam rajapungava nishevata eva lakshmihi. So tvam rajapungava. So Pungava is a great one who is Sreshta among the men. So Pungava, Tvayi agate sati sindhuhu eshaha kimiti vepate. When you have come here, why is this samudram, why is this ocean trembling? Because he is worried that you are going to do something. Tvam setu mantha krit ataha kim asau bibheti. Are you a person who has done this setu, or are you the person who has done manthanam to this ocean? That is why he is being so afraid. So he is comparing the king to Vishnu here. And Tvayi agate sati sindhuhu ayam vepate. It is a natural process of the samudra to send forth waves. So it is trembling. That is fine. But then the poet is trying to ask the king by saying that he is comparing to the king to Vishnu here and saying Tvayi agate. When you have when you have come to the shores of the ocean, eshaha sindhuhu kimiti vepate. Why does he tremble so much? Tvam setu manthakrit tvameva lanka gamanartham tatra tvaya eva setuhu you alone have constructed that bridge, which is, he is saying, are you Ramaha iti karanat tasya bhayam vartate va athava manthana krit, or are you the person who did that manthanam, that is Kurmavataram? So is he afraid that you are going to again build a setu, or you are again going to churn the ocean? Iti prayaha tasya manasi vartate. That is why he is trembling so much. Dvipantarepi nahite asti avashambadaha adya. Why should he worry about it? In those days, Rama built a bridge because there was another island called Lanka where Ravana was not under Rama's rule, and he had to conquer Ravana and get Sita back. Tatha sthitihi tu adhuna nasti. There is nobody in another island. Dvipantare te avashambadaha nahi asti. There is nobody today who is not under your control in another island. So there is no necessity for him to come and build a bridge. So the ocean need not worry about it at all. Okay. So which means everybody is under your control. There is no island which is not under your control. The second one, why was the Manthanam done? Samudra Mathanam was done to get Lakshmi. So in order to get Lakshmi, they did the Manthanam there. Parantu Tvam Lakshmi hi Nishevate eva. Lakshmi is constantly with you. Then why does he have to worry that you have come there to do Manthanam? Tadapi nasti aduna. Okay.
From that Setu Manthakrit is Dvandva kind of thing. Setukrit and Manthakrit.
Yes.
Okay.
So Ekasesham happens. One remains. When you have such two things which have the same padam, then you can do Ekasesha.
And what is the source of this?
There's some sutram there.
No, I'm saying the source of this poem, Vasant Tilaka.
Oh, aduva. I don't know.
It is.
No.
It's very beautiful.
He doesn't say anything here. Ispadya nasti.
Modi, why should ocean be afraid of Setu also? At least Manthanam it can be afraid.
Anga vandu Ramayanam is the background there.
Okay.
Shoshayamyadya samudram padbhyam gachantu vanarahan varume.
Vasanta Tilakam. This one is
Vasanta Tilakam. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
No, he says Rama, he takes an upavasam vratam there for 3 days on the shores of the ocean. And at the end of the 3rd day, he gets so angry that he says, Saumitre, bring me my bow and I will dry up the entire ocean. Padbhyam gachantu vanaraha. Let the monkeys go, vanaras go by walk. So immediately Samudra Bhagavan comes out and says, this is my nature. I can't give you a path and all. If you want, you build a bridge here. So he was afraid of that. Okay.
So Vasham Vadaha means somebody who is under the Vasha, the control, right? Avasham Vadaha is somebody who is not under. I mean, when you say Vasham Vadaha, that Vadaha seems to say that Vashe asti eshaha iti tasmat Vasham Vadaha iti Katam.
இதுதான் பார்க்கணும் அந்த கல்பத்ருமா or something. Vasham tavaham iti vakyam vadati iti vasham vadaha.
Oh, vakyam vadati. Tava vashe asmi aham iti vadati.
Vadati. Yes.
Avasham vadaha iti somebody who is not under your control, who says
na vasham vadaha avasham vadaha. Okay. Okay. So
can you please repeat that, madam? What you said? Vasham vadaha.
Vasham tavaham vashaha iti vadati. So vasham iti vadati. That's the main thing. So vasham tavaham vashaha iti vakyam vadati iti vasham vadaha.
Okay.
So there are 2-3 sutras also quoted here. It says priya vashe vadaha khach iti 3 to 38, and then mum agamaha bhavati arurdvishadantas.
Kalpatrumava.
Okay.